Joining me now on this episode of Locally Sourced TP is two amazing past Sun Queens from the Sun Bowl Association, Miss McKenna Hitter and Miss Adriana Olivas. Ladies, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you. Good morning. Thank you so much for having us this morning.
Oh, you guys, I appreciate you guys coming on my little show to talk about some cool stuff upcoming for the Sun Bowl Association and the also the upcoming Sun Court application stuff, and we'll jump into that right now. And we're here to talk about some other cool stuff. We'll just jump right into it. I mean, I was gonna say, if one of you all can talk to me, just for those who don't know, what exactly is the Sun Court?
Yeah, so I can go ahead and take
Go ahead.
that one. So everyone knows at the end of the year we have the big Sun Bowl game, and a lot of people are aware of that. But a lot of people don't know that the Sun Bowl Association puts on so many other events throughout the year. You have the West Star Bank Don Haskins basketball tournament. They have an art exhibit. They have the Thanksgiving Day parade. They have punt, pass, and kick. I know sometime this summer they're going to have a flag football tournament.
Oh yeah.
So the Sun Bowl Association is busy all year round. And so, with that, being a part of the Sun Corps is being able to partake in all of these events throughout the year and truly just being an ambassador for El Paso.
Oh, that's cool. And then I was gonna say if McKenna too to talk about like if I mean there's so many like positions, correct? It's not just like one queen. It's almost like a royal court, right?
Yes. So what it is usually every year, the Sun Court consists of about 8 to 10 Sun Princesses, and then you have one Lady in Waiting and then one Sun Queen.
Nice. Oh, that's cool. That's pretty legit. I know I've been ar- I've been around the system and like been around the Sun Bowl and the Sun Court because I used to be work in the media here in El Paso, so we would cover you guys a lot, especially like when you guys like you said it at the Thanksgiving parade and you guys are at all the events, especially with the city and things like that. It seems like a lot of hard work. Adriana, talk a little bit about like some of the duties you have to do while being part of the court.
Right. So as McKenna was saying, there are a lot of events that occur throughout the year, the Sun Bowl year, and being a part of those events, not only is it's part of the ambassadorship, but it's just to show, it's a big commitment, because you're a full-time college student. Sometimes some of the ladies don't even live in town; they're students out of town, out of El Paso. So being able to come back to El Paso for these events throughout the year, it does take a good amount of commitment, but it is a lot of fun. It is so much fun to represent the city and the Sun Bowl Association, and at the same time you're just meeting so many different people to talk about our ambassadorship to those who maybe also be coming in from out of town, such as for like the basketball tournament or for the football game. It's really an opportunity to introduce and just and let everybody know what it is that we do out here.
Oh yeah, when we were chit-chatting before we started, you had mentioned that that you ladies had mentioned it was a lot of work, but it is a lot of fun, and that's
Mhm.
something cool to hear. Like I said earlier, because people sometimes think that it's just like you have to go to events and you just smile and wave.
Yeah,
But
I just
for to get to know that you two had experienced it and say that it is a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun. That makes it enjoyable for me to know that you guys were able to do that and live that experience.
right.
Yeah, I know you talked a little bit about, being a student, but uh Adriana, would you be able to talk a little bit about the application process? Like, and because I know we had talked a little bit earlier too about, the deadline coming up is this Friday, June 20th. And I think the
Yes.
time they have until 3 p.m. Talk a little bit about the application process and some of the requirements if you can.
Right. So the application process, you must be a full-time college student. We want and then a good GPA as well, but and most importantly from the El Paso area, because it is important for us to be able to say you're an El Pasoan, to talk to everybody who's coming in, all the visitors, or even some of the locals, local El Pasoans who do attend these events. A commitment is to attend these events and to be able to be part of the Sun Bowl Association is something that we do ask of our applicants when they do come in for an interview process. And the interview process is conducted by the past Sun Queens as well, because we thought it was important for when interviewing or when they come in for these interviews
Mhm.
that it's done by some of the former or the past Sun Queens who were already a part of this experience. And so that's it. That's what we look for, and that's what the application consists of. And I know there's also a personal essay, and most importantly, asking why you would like to apply and be a part of the Sun Bowl Association in the Sun Court.
Oh wow, that sounds that I mean, this is basically you guys are applying. It's almost like you're applying for a job or just it's very important and it's very selective. I'm pretty sure, especially I know some of the requirements. But McKenna, can you talk a little bit about your experience in like when you applied and how the process worked? How your experience with the application process was?
Yeah, of course. I remember when I was little, I always used to like my family were a really big sports family. So I remember going to the Sun Bowl games when I was little and seeing like all of
Mhm.
the girls and all these things, and I would read about them in the program and all the universities they used to go to. And I remember being little and like college was such a crazy concept, when you're like five, you're like, what is this? And so eventually, whenever I got to UTEP, I knew this was something I always wanted to do. So I remember, sending in my application. I went down to the Sunball office, turned it in person. And it's funny now because now I am a past Sun Queen, and the girls like Adriana, there's a couple other girls, Celeste, Rebecca. It's funny because they were the ones who interviewed me when I got to that point. And so I remember going through the interview process, and honestly, you get a little nervous, especially when it's something you really want to do. But it's also so cool because they ask you questions about El Paso and why do you like El Paso and what does El Paso have to offer. And so those kind of questions, like me being born and raised in El Paso, it's just really cool to answer those because it's something that we all truly love and bond over. So that's kind of like one of the big takeaways that I remember going through like this experience was we all have that same love and bond for El Paso and like why we want to represent this like community.
No, that's cool. And
Mhm.
Adriana, like on your side, can you talk a little bit about your experience and like the application and then just just the whole experience being a son.
Right. No, I remember it so vividly. Even so, I was a Sun Queen in 2011, but I was a Sun Princess first in 2010. I was a student at the University of Texas in Austin, so I had that out of town experience, and I remember the deadline at that time was coming up soon, and it was taking a while to get all my transcripts and letters of recommendation from my professors. So I remember rush delivering my application and I was like, please get there in time. And I would call and I called daily during that week just to make sure that my application was received. But my experience was a little bit different than McKenna's because in my time, I was not interviewed by former Sun Queens, but it was through some of the community members.
Mhm.
And so I remember sitting at the table and there were like 10 different
Oh.
interviewers and I felt like I was in a hot seat and they asked me different questions about, it's kind of what McKenna mentioned of if I were bringing friends home from Austin to El Paso to show them around, where would I take them?
Mhm.
And other questions are like, what is your knowledge of the Sun Bowl? And they would ask me like different dates and of like even when the Sun Bowl started.
Oh yeah.
And so it was pretty intense but I don't think they intended it to be that way. But and that's not what we intend also when we are interviewing our applicants. But I think in any interview process, when you're going for something, as McKenna mentioned, that you really want,
Hmm.
it does just feel a little bit more nerve-wracking than I think it was intended to be. But it was still a good experience and it was so my commitment, I was very committed to coming back home from Austin to attend these events because I was very passionate about the Sun Bowl Association and being part of the Sun Court um to represent my community. And I did so out in Austin when I would ask for some of the days off for my professors saying, I'm gonna miss this time, but because let me explain to you why I'm gonna
Yeah.
be out. And as soon as I mentioned the Sun Bowl Association and the Sun Bowl game or being part of the Sun Court, I was very pleasantly surprised to hear that some of my professors knew exactly what I was talking about.
Oh, that's cool.
And I was just so happy, the joy that I felt when they said, "Oh, the Sun Bowl. Yes, I know. I've been there before. I went to the game when when different universities played each other." And I said, "Yes, they know it. So this is what I'm going to do. If you want to check in, this is where you can see on, at the time of Facebook was still very was the biggest social media
Mhm.
at that time. So they would watch the Sun Bowl game. So I was just so happy, and it was very heartwarming to know that over the years at my time at UT Austin that some of the community members in Austin knew what I was talking about. So they were just very like, you have fun, you enjoy it, represent yourself out there in your city, like how you're going to do. So it was great.
Oh, that's cool. That number one, that's amazing how that you had professors that understood the
Right.
situation, and number two, them knowing what the Sun Bowl was, it makes it even cooler. So that's so
Hmm.
awesome. Yeah, not that many people know, like not that many people know that the Sun Bowl here, even though it's in Little Paso, is a huge deal.
Right. It
Yeah,
is. It
yeah.
is a huge deal.
I'm like you. Like well, not like you, but I mean, I'm not. I don't have a crown, but I remember going to the games since I was a little kid, and then for the past like almost 15, 20 years, like with my uncle and father-in-law, we would tailgate and stuff. And I think the
Hmm.
only thing that killed it was COVID, but that's another story. But um, yeah, yeah, it's just a big deal, and that's so cool that you two had such an amazing experience and were able to obviously keep the crowns. I'm so jealous. So I'm gonna have to go to Burger King down the street and get me one now. So for the next time I have you guys on, I'll have my Burger King one. But that's just so cool that the experience and hopefully anyone like watching will help encourage them to apply and just be able to represent the city and themselves as well. How McKenna, talk a little bit about too. There's I guess another I'm guessing like part of the Sun Court this for Sun Bowl. It's yeah, everything's starting. It's called the Sun Court Legacy, correct?
Yes. So over the holidays, about a couple, yeah, like around like Thanksgiving last year, there
Mhm.
was a group of us where we decided to just get together and hang out and just catch up. And that's literally all it really intended to be was let's just get together, have a nice dinner, and hang out. And so as we were there, we all kind of started reminiscing about our time on the Sun Court and like funny memories and just like laughing and giggling. And it was just such a fun time. And then we kind of started talking and we were like, you know what? The Sun Court and the Sun Bowl Association did so much for us. How can we come together and now do something for them? So that's kind of how this all started. A group of, former Sun Queens, we came together and we put together the Sun Court Legacy. And it was perfect timing because actually, fun fact, it is the 90th year of the Sun Queen. So that kind of worked out really nice. And so we decided to come together and hopefully for the 2025 Sun Court this year, all the girls that are selected, we would like to give them a monetary award so they can hopefully use that, in their careers or in their college experiences because they are college students,
Yeah.
So there's a lot of time commitment, travel, anything that we can help them with school, a textbook here or there. So that's kind of like why we wanted to establish that. And then also, it really creates this really special like network amongst all of us. So
Yeah.
it's really cool because these girls are college students and now all of us like we're entering like our careers and now we can create this like mentorship and continue this like I guess group and bond that we have even after once your year ends on the Sun Court.
Oh wow, that sounds cool. And then that's kind of neat to hear that it kind of like spanned out like this was created out of just like you all just hanging out and just reminiscing. That's just something cool. I mean, that's the one thing I would like to ask if you guys don't mind, and it's kind of like a different kind of question. Is like, how are like are like the past queens? Are you guys still in contact? Do you guys still talk and communicate and like you said, hang out apparently too? So like, how's the relationships after you guys pass the crown down?
Well, it's the experience of being part of the Sun Court is it's very unique. And once you're part of so in order before to become a Sun Queen, the requirement is to be part of the Sun Court, so a Sun Princess. So
Mm.
that's one experience when you're in a group with other ladies, other college students as well. and then you apply to be the Sun Queen or Lady in Waiting. So then that's a different experience.
Right.
Now, we as far as the Sun Queen experience, it's pretty unique because you're leading along with the other with your Sun Court, and there are different responsibilities and different duties. So after the rain, we really do try to keep in touch with everyone because it's a sisterhood really. When you and then everyone has different unique experiences during their reign, and it's fun to just to talk about how it was for example, McKenna was a little bit later than I was, or was after me, obviously, but my experiences are different than hers, but
Yeah.
somehow they come and intertwine, and we find how we do have some of the same experiences, in different years. But it's a lot of fun because coming together, we have that bond, we have that sisterhood, we have that reign, and all of us doing as a Sun Queen, we were doing it for the same reasons, was for our community and for the city and for the Sun Bowl Association.
Oh, that's cool. Now, I mean,
Mhm.
you guys do so much, and every time you guys are in an event or see, you guys are now that I know, speaking to from you guys and you guys speaking from experience, when I see you guys out there smiling and waving, you guys are actually having fun, and that's just really cool to know that
Mhm.
you guys are actually having fun at the event and just being it, love being there, love have experience in it, and just love being with the people, and that's really cool.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I'll ask you guys this. I'll ask McKenna first, and then Adriana can answer. Did you and that how was your experience? Did you enjoy going to the actual Sun Bowl, like the football games, and especially and was it even more special when you were the Sun Queen?
Yes. So I mean, like I had said kind of previous to this,
Mhm.
my dad used to take us, like all the cousins we would go. We'd always go to the Sun Bowl games. We're a big, really big sports family. So even like my Sun Princess year, and then especially my Sun Queen year, being able to go onto the field, they like announce your name. It's just such a crazy experience. Like I like that memory, I one of like the clearest memories I have.
Yeah.
And then also leading up to the game, it's such a cool experience because I mean, obviously you don't experience that, when you're a fan.
Mhm.
But we welcome the football teams like at the airport. The second they land, we're there. We welcome them. We take them to Cattleman's. We get to like show them around El Paso. We have dinners with them. I think they even host and give them like Mexican food one day. So you're able to, talk to the players and get to know them and show them El Paso and hang out with them. And so it's really different because then, you get to meet them leading up to the day. And then the day comes, and then now you're there with them on the field and you're like cheering them on. So it's such a cool experience. It's awesome. It's amazing. I loved it.
Mhm. And Adriana, like your experience with when you got to go, I mean, talk a little about, do you enjoy like do you enjoy the game actually too, and just,
Oh, yes, I like sports a lot. I'm an avid football watcher as well, and college sports because I mean, there's just something there's different between college sports and then the pros, right?
Yeah.
Um, so when I was a Sun Princess in 2010, that was the time when Notre Dame and University of Florida came, and they were, the first. It was I'm sorry. Yes, it was when Notre Dame came,
It was
and that
cold
was
that game.
it was not the Sun Bowl, but like the Snow
The
Bowl at
Snow
that time.
Bowl.
It
I was
was
there.
so cold, but
Yep.
it was we weren't used to that, right? So we just had to grit and bear it, and we were going to do what we were there to do. It was so cold that day, but it was so much fun. As my reign in 2011, it was against Utah and Georgia Tech. So that's when it was not cold, but it was a lot of fun though. It
Yeah.
was very different, and as McKenna said, walking out onto the football field and hearing your name being called out amongst the entire Sun Bowl stadium it's an experience. It's
Yeah.
something like no other. And alongside your Sun Court and your Lady in Waiting, that was that moment that we had been waiting for. And soon after that, we were able to walk around the Sun Bowl and greet the visitors from both universities,
Yeah.
um, all the spectators, and of course you get, hey, it's the queen, and oh, there's the princesses, and can we have a picture of the little girls? Or they see the shiny crowns, and they're like, can we please have a picture? And we're like, sure, let's. And then we pose. Um, Parents of the football or families of the football players. It's just it's great.
That's cool. No, I love how like you both explain like different experiences, but it's like the same. And
Similar.
yeah, yeah. It's just like and then just the enthusiasm and the passion I hear from both you guys talking about it. It's just so cool and refreshing just knowing that you guys love the experience and love being there. And just, it's just so cool. I can babble on and on about it, but it's just so neat to hear that from you guys.
Yes.
Uh, but I mean, again, like I'll touch on this. Like the applications are still open for to apply to be part of the Sun Court. Deadline is Friday, June 20th at 3 p.m. I'll make sure I'll put all the information in the description below. That way, they email the Sunbowl office. I believe it's office@sunbowl.org, or they can call at 915-533-4416. And then maybe you guys can they could be in the interview and you all will maybe pick them.
Yes, we highly encourage please to apply for this position. It really is an amazing opportunity for the college girls to come out and be a part of this experience, be part of history, really, as part of the Sun Bowl court and maybe a future Sun Queen or Lady in Waiting. So we highly encourage and we hope to see you all there.
Sounds good. Yeah, I can't wait for the game and all the start of the festivities. Make sure you check out sunbowl.org to check out all the calendar listings. I know you guys had said, I think you're correct. I think there's the flag football tournament coming soon, punt, pass, and kick, things like that. All leading up to the Sun Bowl game. I think it's December 31st still. So it's always a lot of fun. And I know, especially hearing from you ladies, it is a lot of fun. So I can't wait. So with that, I'll just go ahead and I'll before we let you guys go, I'll start with McKenna and then with Adriana. Is there anything else you guys like to say before we end today?
Thank you so much again for having us. Just like Adriana said, I encourage any girl to apply, even if you're hesitant about it, just give it a shot, you know. It's an amazing experience, and I mean, El Paso has such a strong sense of community, and so I just think this is such a wonderful opportunity to give back to your community and be involved. So,
That's awesome. And Adriana, anything else you'd like to say before we end today?
No, thank you. As Ms. McKenna said, thank you so much for having us this morning. It's always an honor to be talking about the Sun Bowl Association, the Sun Court, and our new Sun Court legacy. So, but yes, as I mentioned earlier, please don't hesitate. And if you have any reservations, don't. It's just give it a shot. And it's really not going to be like a interview process for work or anything. We're not gonna grill you, but it's to join this wonderful and beautiful experience.
You don't want to borrow one of my like big production lights to put it on them and make them
Hone
sweat
in
a
on
little bit,
them.
Nah, it'll be cool. And ladies, I'm honored that you guys came on and talked a little bit about the Sun Court and everything that has to go with it. Can't thank you enough, and you guys are welcome on anytime.
Thank you so much.
thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you. Well, you ladies have a good day, and we'll see you at the game.
Awesome. Thank
See you
you.
there.
All right.
See you
Thank you, ladies.
there.